Welcome to Gaia's Calling, where stories ignite your spirit and the earth whispers her secrets. I'm Brad Swift, a right-on-purpose author of eco-fiction and nonfiction, inviting you to become an eco-guardian. Together, let's explore the wonders of our world and take action to protect them. Listen closely, Gaia is calling. And today's call is for innovation, imagination, and regeneration. Let's take a look at what real genius looks like now during the Great Turning. And I'm going to start with a quote. It comes from Thomas Edison. Bring out the secrets of nature for the happiness of humanity. That was actually his declared purpose that drove him to be such an inventor. Now, when you think of genius, you might picture someone, well, like Thomas Edison, brilliant, prolific, and ruthlessly practical. He held over 1,000 patents, lit up the world with electricity, and helped create entire industries. Think, phonograph and the movie picture shows. Now, he also said something less well known, something deeper, and that was that, by his quote, anything that won't sell, I don't want to invent. Sales are proof of utility, and utility is success. Now, let's think about that. What if that had been a little different? What if Edison had said instead, anything that doesn't serve nature, I won't invent. Or I'll make sure all my inventions serve all of nature. What if genius wasn't just measured in profit, but in regeneration, in healing ecosystems, in protecting future generations? So let's do some rethinking genius for the climate era. We're not just in tech revolution, we're in a values revolution. And it's asking us to realign our creative brilliance with Earth's needs. Now, what does that look like? Let's explore how genius unfolds when aligned with the four great truths. Let's start with interconnectedness. Think buildings designed like trees, cities modeled after watersheds, living walls that breathe. Biophilic design is more than beautiful, it's genius guided by connection. And then there's sufficiency. Solar-powered irrigation tools shared across community farms. Open-source tech in the global south. These are innovations that whisper, there is enough if we share. And then there's reciprocity. Regenerative farming practices. Fungi that form mutualistic partnerships underground. Genius, it turns out, doesn't dominate the soil, it listens to it. And last of all, stewardship. Designers embracing cradle-to-cradle design. They ask, can this product return to the earth or be used again endlessly? From sneakers to smartphones, stewardship is becoming a blueprint. Now here's some eco-innovation spotlights. And I'm going to, terribly butcher this name, but I'm going to try it anyway. Venetia I poured it. I'm going to spell it. UMASHANKAR from India. At just 14, she designed a solar-powered ironing cart. Clean, portable, and practical. It replaces charcoal carts used by millions of vendors. She's been recognized by the Earthshot Prize and spoke at COP26. And then there's tree planting drones. Companies like Dendra Systems are actually using drones to reforest areas faster and more precisely than humans can alone. This is where tech meets trees and innovation at scale. And there's some links to both of those. And then there's indigenous climate solutions, from controlled burns to solar-powered fish camps. Indigenous wisdom is guiding new climate adaptations. Ancient intelligence meets modern need. These aren't just cool projects. They're proof that real genius is humble, regenerative, and in service to life. So let's imagine, what if, for example, the next iPhone actually healed the planet? Yeah, I know, let's stretch our vision a bit. What if the next iPhone regenerated coral reefs? What if our smart homes grew vegetables and filtered rainwater? Or even better, what if our homes separated our, quote, gray water, which could then be used in the garden, from our wastewater, which was then composted here locally at our home base for future use? What if middle school science fairs became incubators for rewilding the suburbs? Imagination isn't a luxury. It's a tool of survival and ultimately a portal to our thriving in a regenerative future. And it's time to start dreaming forward. So let's do that. How about some visioneering of your own eco-genius project? Here's your invitation to get started. Number 1, ask, what breaks your heart about what's happening to Earth? Is it dead corals, plastic-filled oceans, bird songs going silent, the loss of pollinators globally? Then 2, imagine, if nature could whisper an answer, what might she say? Start with what's alive near you. And then 3rd, begin. What small, doable project could you begin or continue as a small step to a regenerative future? A backyard pollinator patch? A soil experiment? Maybe even a letter to your mayor. For example, one of my ongoing projects that you've been hearing about and you'll hear more about here is transforming my yard that I once had to cut every 2 weeks and converting it into a food forest. Here are a few pics of our latest additions, which I actually consider kin. There's a fig tree, butterfly bush, cardinal flowers, and a little San Carlos festiva salvia. Great pollinators from what I understand. Okay, got your project? Then tell someone about your mini eco project. It can be just as small as or big as you want. How about including this to the Gay as Call community by leaving a comment in the chat? And by the way, the chat feature is available both within the Substack app and on the website. So if you're only receiving this by the email, please go over to either your Substack app or on the website and join in the conversation. Redefining genius. We've inherited more than Edison's brilliance. We've inherited his blind spots. So let's rewrite the rules. Not what will sell, but what will serve life. Real genius isn't just clever. It's caring. It's regenerative. It grows futures worth living into. Now, how about a bonus mini-mission to activate your inner visionary? This week, choose one of these. Learn about a young climate innovator like Venetia. Or write down 3 what-if ideas for healing the planet. Or start a journal of nature-inspired ideas. And yes, doodles count. And how about sharing this article with someone who might need a nudge of possibility? Because the next generation in innovation won't come from tech titans. It'll come from gardeners, grand dudes, librarians, artist. Yes, it'll come from you. And here's a PS. What if genius became a movement? Behind the scenes, I've been nurturing a bold new vision to continue expanding on one cause and Gaia's call. I'm calling it the Eco Guardian Youth Project. It begins with that secret library I've been hearing about. And then it leads into a youth writing challenge. And then blossoms into an Eco Guardian training camp, a place where young readers, writers, and visionaries gather to reimagine the future. Kind of think of it like Hogwarts for Eco Guardians. It's still unfolding, but if your inner genius or some outer mentor feels called, I'd love to hear from you. So message me. And again, if you're kind of listening to this on the podcast, I'm actually going to be bold and give you an email address. Reach out to me at coachbrad21@gmail.com. Let's imagine something beautiful into being together.